edition of Scott Sports 101, a special Browns preseason football and NFL preseason football edition of Scott Sports 101. And this is the Browns preseason, NFL preseason pregame show that I'm doing right now. And we're going to break down what we expect to see in tonight's first preseason game with the Browns at First Energy Stadium. We'll break it all down, and we'll talk about all that in just a moment. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who was the Browns' place kicker that had two kicks hit the crossbar of the uprights during the 2007 season and subsequently caused NFL rule changes and play reviews? I will have the answer later on the broadcast. And I just said, we'll give you three previews and what we expect in tonight's game in just a moment. But first, we have some breaking news right now. The Browns have traded running back Duke Johnson to the Houston Texans for a 2020 undisclosed draft pick, which it's probably going to be a third or fourth round pick. And I think the Browns will be lucky if it was a third or fourth round pick either way. And the Browns currently own the picks in their own picks in rounds 1 through 7 of the 2020 NFL Draft. Cleveland also has Arizona's 6th round pick, defensive back Jamar Taylor, and the defensive back Jamar Taylor trade, and Buffalo's 7th round pick in the wide receiver Corey Coleman trade. Now, Johnson joined the Browns as a 3rd round pick in 2015. He appeared in 64 games with 10 starts. He registered 1,286 rushing yards and 2,170 receiving yards on 235 receptions with 13 total touchdowns. And I want to mention that Johnson, I think we knew this was going to happen because Johnson wanted to be traded because fans think Johnson is jealous of Nick Chubb, who is really putting up a lot of numbers and making a lot of moves to training camp and is a lot faster. And I think a lot of fans are right, but I think this was a good move by the Browns. I really think it was, and I think we all knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Now, a lot of things that we expect to see in tonight's game between the Browns and the Redskins, and the starters will get some playing time, but I don't think they're going to. I think it's going to be very little time that they're going to get, but you can be sure that Baker Mayfield's going to give it his all by far, and that's no doubt about it. And Myles Garrett played under Greg Anderson's defense last year and was always known for having a spin on the defense and making a spin with plays. And now he's going to have his freedom to do that under Steve Wilks' defensive coordinator rules and all that. And I think we could expect Myles Garrett to have a spin with the defense in the game tonight. We could expect that to happen. And we can expect to see some of the players that have gotten a chance to show their stuff in training camp get some playing time tonight, and who Freddie Kitchens feels is going to make this 53-man roster, and who the fans will think are going to make the 53-man roster, and fans will get to see a lot of the players that have played in training camp on the field tonight, as well as the starters, and don't expect to see much from the Browns starters tonight, but I do believe they'll play at least the first quarter. And the players who got lengthy in the game and are ones who are hoping earn a spot on the 53-man roster this upcoming regular season in 2019, and which will be the 100th anniversary season of NFL football. And Kareem Hunt, as I mentioned, will be allowed to play in the preseason, even though he will be serving an 8-game suspension the first 8 games of the season, but we will get Kareem Hunt back once he has served his full 8-game suspension. And we can expect to hopefully see Austin Corbett play tonight. He could be a good prospect for the defensive back tonight. And we could expect to see a lot of great moves with these players tonight. And this will be the first look at the Freddie Kitchens edition of the Browns. And the Browns' new head coach, Freddie Kitchens, who was the Browns' offensive coordinator last year, as we all know. And I really think this is going to be a really good game, and the Browns fans are looking forward to seeing it. And they will not have to worry about Redskins quarterback Colt McCoy. He is sidelined, is out for tonight's game, and will not play in tonight's game. And I really think the Browns are going to really have a great game tonight. But don't expect a lot. Don't expect a lot of starting time with all players tonight. But they will be in the game. But don't expect a lot of major plays to happen in this game. But I think Baker Mayfield likes to get the Browns out to an early lead, as we all know. And I think that's going to happen tonight. But I think this is going to be a good game. I think hopefully it's going to be a close one. But I think the Browns will have the edge in this game. But don't expect to see a lot in the preseason, because I think they want to have that saved for the regular season. But I think we will have a pretty decent preseason. And so there are just a lot of things that fans are expecting, and I really think that we could see, and I mentioned this before, I'm going to say it again, that we could, and we will see Myles Garrett have a good swing with the defense tonight in this game. We could very much see that, and expect to see Odell Beckham Jr. along with Jarvis Landry in the game tonight, and they expect them to make some really, really big plays tonight, and some decent plays too. And Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be giving it his all, and also Nick Chubb will get some playing time as well, and I think he's going to make some really, really good defensive plays. And I really think this is going to be a great game for the Browns tonight, and this one's going to be really just a pivotal game tonight for the Browns. Just a big game in general, because this is the first preseason game. But keep in mind, these are dress rehearsal games for the regular season. These games don't mean a thing, these 4 preseason games. So keep that in mind, and they're going to be testing these guys to see who will make the 53-man roster and who will not. So keep in mind, it's going to be Freddie Kitchens knows what he's looking for, and he knows how much playing time he's going to give these guys. So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll get back to talking about tonight's game in just a moment. But first, it is now time to reveal the answer to tonight's Scouts Sports 101 Browns NFL preseason trivia question. Browns trivia question, excuse me. Who was the Browns' place kicker that had 2 kicks hit the crossbar of the uprights during the 2007 season and subsequently caused NFL rule changes in play reviews? And if you said Phil Dawson, you are correct. And Phil's first controversial kick was during the November 2007 game with the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens were in the locker room celebrating. Then after the kick was ruled good, they had to return to the field for overtime. The Browns won, of course, as you may recall, and a similar kick happened in December 2007 during a game with the Buffalo Bills. Cleveland won then also. Before the rule change, kicks that hit the uprights or crossbars couldn't be reviewed, but after 2007, such plays can be reviewed, and some call this the Phil Dawson rule. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, and so stay tuned for that. Now, getting back to tonight's game between the Browns and the Redskins, we can expect to see some play time with the starters, because the starters will most likely be playing when the regular season starts. and but we could also see a lot of playing time from the players who we took in the draft, and players who are really hoping to earn a spot on the 53-man roster this upcoming season, and expect Freddie Kitchens to really keep an eye on these players and see what these players are made of, and he knows what he's looking for. He wants to see what these players do on the field tonight in this game against the Redskins, and I really feel this is going to be a test for all players tonight. This is going to be one of the big tests. I think this game and the final preseason game are going to be big tests for the Browns players who are hoping to earn a spot on the 53-man team roster this upcoming season in 2019, which will be the 100th season of NFL football. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this Scott Sports 101 Browns preseason pregame show. I will be back with a Browns preseason postgame show once the Browns-Redskins game has concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. Enjoy the Browns' first preseason game. And so long, everybody. And I'll see you after it's done, after the game is over. 3, 2, 1, I'm done. Go Browns, I said.